Hello, John Fernley College students. Mr. Page here. Now, we are continuing Hegarty Maths for your Maths remote learning. So this is just a video just to remind you of some of the things you can do on Hegarty Maths. Some of you obviously know quite a bit already, but I'm just going to log in now. I'm going to log in as a student. I've already got John Fernley College coming up. You might need to search that yourself, but you've probably already done this. Now, this student that I'm logging on as is a made-up student who happens to be born on the 25th of December. You will probably already go through this bit and have it automatically coming up. But I needed to do this to show you what happens. Okay. You should have a password. Now, if you ever forget your password, then just click on the forgotten your password and your teacher will then reset it for you. If for any reason that doesn't seem to work, don't hesitate to email your teacher and ask for the password to be reset because we can redo it anyway. So I'm just going to type in the password for this student. Feel free to write it down somewhere just in case. Let me clear this up. Okay. Now, this is the screen that you come onto to begin with. This student hasn't done very much of this 925 skills. Now, one thing I need to point you in the direction of is the following things. My tasks. My task tells you how many tasks you've been set. Let me click on that for you. So, at the moment, this student here has got these tasks all set down. Now, these tasks will differ from group to group, and your teacher will set you the tasks appropriate for your group. Now, this student has already started task 553, which is the lowest number there, went on to 554, and has already tried 555, but is yet to start these other tasks. They have a deadline due date down here. Past that deadline, you might still be able to do the tasks, or your teacher may have removed them because we don't want too many tasks being cluttered up. Now, one thing I will also point out is if your screen has this icon here in red, that means your teacher has sent you some feedback. So let's see what feedback we've had sent. Oh, Mr. Page has left you some feedback. Let me click on that. As it opens up, it seems to be on one of these tasks, 555, and so this student had written in, where am I going wrong, submitted that comment. I'll show you how to do that later. And Mr. Page has replied, I can see you've not watched the video. Please watch the video as then you can have another go at this task. Now, if I click mark feedback as read, that's really quite useful for us teachers because it shows that you've actually read that feedback. Woohoo! Feedback marked as read. Now, as I go back up to here, and have a look at these tasks, I'm going to try and continue one of these tasks. I'm going to go back to the rectangles one. We're going to go back to the rectangles one. Don't forget you've got the video. I know the video looks quite long to watch it all, but we're just going to continue the quiz at the moment. Don't forget there's a few things you need to be looking out for. You need to be looking out for whether you're allowed to use a calculator or not. Now the calculator you should be using is a scientific calculator, maybe one you've got to the side of your laptop or your phone, whatever you're using. I prefer to use the laptop, but it is designed to work on phones and tablets as well, Hegarty Maths. So I can load up a calculator and put it on the screen and use that if I needed to. Now, to remind you, Get Help will send you to the place in the video where it's more useful to get help from. It will open up and notice it's 7 minutes through, so you don't need to watch it all. Okay. I don't think you'll need to report a mistake to Hegarty Maths, and I wouldn't suggest quitting the assessment as you'll then score nothing for the remaining questions. Okay. Don't forget to look out for the on-screen keyboard as well. Currently I've got it switched off. Switching it on fills up a lot of the laptop screen. On phones, you'll only get part of the keyboard and you'll need to hit the button with the 3 dots on to get further buttons to then use. Okay, I'll have a read of this question, I'd have a go at it, and don't forget, if you don't get it right the first time, at the moment I'm just going to type in a random answer, 363 metres, hit check. it will give you, in most cases, a second chance. There are certain questions, but it won't give you a second chance. It'll ask you just to double check things, and that won't affect your score later on. Now, a few other things I want to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to my tasks just to remind you of a few things. Also, this revise button is very useful. This revise button sets up 2 different tasks. Fix up 5 you can set up for yourself, and it can give you up to 5 questions that you've previously got wrong to try and get right. The memory tasks may well be set up by your teacher themselves, and these memory tasks give you up to 10 questions of different types. You get different scores for each of these, and again, it's based on topic areas that you have done. And if you can try and do 1 of those a day, that is brilliant for revision purposes. I myself, for some of my students, I've asked them when they've completed their tasks, if they've not got 100%, to try and get 100%, but afterwards to try and do a memory task. Now, going up to trying to get 100% for your tasks, just to remind you about that. 83% is a brilliant score, but it will stay on your system until the due date. So it will not disappear from this task list up here. It still says 8 tasks until you get 100%. So I'd have to click on it again. And unfortunately, this is the way it's designed. I'll need to do the whole quiz again to try and get 100%. Now, Hegarty Maths have set that up deliberately like that, to try and convince you to go back over as much work as possible. Now, if you feel you don't want to get 100%, 83% is a good score, I'll give you one little tip that some of my students have worked out. If you get a question wrong, make a little comment to your teacher and say to them, you understand where you went wrong. And what I've done with my students is I've been really generous, filled in the right answer for them, and given them the mark for that question to help them get 100%. So it's just something you can think about trying. Okay, now the My Scores section bit here, it's just got completed tasks so far, but remember you can still do these again. Now, 1 or 2 students have so far finished loads of tasks and want to do some more tasks themselves. You can request more work, okay, when your tasks are down to 0. However, some students are trying to choose their own lesson. Now, if you choose your lesson, just be really careful. There are some tasks which will be not challenging enough for you or too challenging. It's best to try and contact your teacher and say, perhaps via email, that you would like to do more tasks. What's the most appropriate tasks? Now, just to finish off on this little help thing here, just to remind you again that we are continuing to use Hegarty Maths at the moment, and you can communicate via Hegarty Maths by sending in comments. I'll show you how to do it now. I think most of you do know, but let's just go back to my tasks. Let's just start the parallelograms task here. Don't forget, feel free, it'd be a good idea to watch all the video all the way through first if you've not done the topic area before. It's a brilliant idea, especially if you're year 10 and you're doing a brand new topic area, to make notes at the same time to refer back to. Now, if I go straight to the quiz, the on-screen keyboard's slightly in the way. I'm going to get rid of that a bit. I'm going to have a look at that, and I haven't really got a bit of a clue here. So if you can get help, would watch me the video. But 1 or 2 things people have been doing is this. They've been typing in any old number, 63, check it. Oh no, got it wrong. Put another one in, 27, don't know what I'm doing. Tells me what the correct answer is. I don't know where 40 comes from. And don't forget, you can send a comment to your teacher. Now if you send a comment like, how do you do this one? What we need you to do now is you can try and send it to your current teacher, but there are 2 of us who will be watching more closely throughout the coming weeks, because myself and Mrs. Poulter will be based at home looking after the remote learning. Lots of the other maths teachers will go into school to meet with some of the year 10s. Now, don't forget to submit your comment. I'm sending it to myself. Oh, sorry, Mr. Page, we're home. And hopefully Mr. Page will get back to this student, Sharon, very, very soon. Now, just to finish off with, just to remind you, please do not hesitate to contact maths teachers. Mr. Page, Mrs. Poulter, first of all, will be there through Hegarty Maths or through emails. Now we're reaching the stage where we will be doing some new work, all the year groups, Year 7, Year 8, Year 9 and Year 10. Watching the video will help you, making notes will help you, having a calculator to the side when appropriate will help you. This one here says do not use a calculator. Really, really important. Loads of you are like this. My daughter's just like this. Have some working space to the side of where you're working. Pen and paper, pencil and ruler where appropriate, and do your working out to the side. Now you can't enter in your working out, but it's always good to have that handy to look back on to see if you've made a mistake. Now to remind you, your teachers will be setting you Hegarty Maths tasks throughout the remote learning and the rest of the term. And we wish you good luck. Any problems at all, just don't hesitate to email the Maths Department. Mr. Page or Mrs. Poulter will be the best people at the moment. Thank you very much. All the best. Good luck.